start us off?
Hey, Book, Gerald Bourget, PHNX Sports. First off, congrats on another gold medal. I just wanted to get your thoughts. I know that you and Al obviously developed a special relationship during your time here. Just wanted to get your thoughts on his passing and the relationship you were able to build with him over the years.
Yeah, I mean, Al is the historian of this franchise. He was here from day one, and somebody that I grew super close to over time, somebody that I view as a really good friend of mine, and obviously tough for all of us. But, you know, he's embedded in this culture and in this city forever. You know, so it's like losing a family member for a lot of us.
Sorry about that. First, congrats on winning gold. And then second, you wearing the patch, obviously, to get on the jersey. What's that going to mean for you this season to have him basically with you from start to finish?
Yeah, it means something to me. Means a lot to me. You know, I heard rumblings of getting Shazam on there. You know, I think that would have been iconic. But yeah, I think it's my job to further communicate to the guys that haven't been here, you know, how important this patch is and how much it means to the city. And we're going to wear it with great honor.
The only follow I have was when you look at just the roster moves that was made, particularly Tyus, him being a point guard, and you can get back to being off the ball. What's that going to mean for you and for the team as a whole?
I mean, me and Tyus go back to 2014 draft class. So somebody that I've had a close relationship for a long time, and you know, we can say it how it is. We got him for a steal. You know, I remember the news being broke while we were at USA, and all the guys in the locker room was like, "Man, how did y'all get that done?" But something I'm super excited about. You know, obviously, not only everyone talks about the assist turnover ratio, but he's definitely not someone you can leave open either. You know, so he's just a true ultimate winner, and I'm glad that, you know, he's on a stage now where he can show it.
Well, Doug Haller with The Athletic. Are there any lessons from Paris that you can apply to this upcoming season, just with how you guys came together as a team and won?
I mean, yeah, that's the name of the game. You know, the quicker you can find that chemistry, and you know, it took us a little bit out in Paris, and you know, we were tested to the highest degree, but you know, I think our chemistry got us over the hump. You know, we all believed all the way through, even down 13 to start the fourth quarter versus Serbia. We just stuck together. You know, everybody was obviously not in their normal roles, and we wanted to do other things to help contribute, and you know, that's what we did.
Book, Kellen Olson, Arizona Sports. Good to see you back here.
Good to see you.
With the big three, as they're called, you, Brad, and Kevin, just what do you build on from last year and take into this year that worked, didn't work, and just how much that second year as opposed to the first year of that dynamic is going to help you guys? Yeah,
I think going out in the fashion that we did is something that, you know, you don't want to just blow by and act like it never happened. Something that we have to accept and use as motivation. So I always say experience is the best teacher, and you know, we have that terrible experience under our belt and use it for motivation from here on out.
Hey, Bo, Shane Young with Forbes. Good to see you. I'm curious, what's some of the early impressions you've had with Coach Bud? I'm assuming you've probably talked to him quite a bit over the summer.
Yeah, he's a hell of a golfer. We actually got around in, and he's a competitor. You know, we obviously seen a lot of him in the finals run, and he just wants to win. So, you know, I'm rallying behind him. What he says, that's always been my motto. He wants to lead, and we want to follow.
Doug Franz Unplugged podcast. Book, I know the first two questions were about Al, but I know how much it meant to him when you walked out of the locker room to watch him get inducted into the Ring of Honor. Do you mind opening up about a story of 18, 19-year-old Book talking to Al on a plane or on a bus and how he helped you become a professional?
Oh, yeah, we had plenty of those conversations. And, you know, my question was him, man, what still drives you, man? How are you still on all these flights with us? How are you catching all these games? And just further understanding, you know, the history of of what he's done and, how the game has evolved. And, the only way to hear a basketball game or not even see it was to hear his voice. So that's why I say he's embedded in a lot of the people's lives here, and that's why it feels like a family member. That was the only source of Phoenix Suns basketball, and, to me still is.
Hey, Book. Dana Scott, Arizona Republic. Congratulations on the gold medal.
Thank you.
Two-part question about you entering year 10. Now that you're entering the second half of your career, do you talk with Kevin about how to prepare and basically managing your body in certain ways that players at that age have to do in entering the second half, even though you're very young still? And the second part of that is with having Oso and Tai Tai on the team as two Phoenix natives. You called Tai Tai a special talent a couple of years ago, and he was at your alma mater, Kentucky. So what's that like having Arizona guys on the team to help impact this, the roster?
The first part of the question, I'd say I'm always a sponge. You'll see, guys all have their different type of ways to stay healthy, and Katie is obviously somebody that, I've watched closely going into, 18 for 19? And he's just a hooper. I think his love for the game is what keeps him going. And I've had plenty of guys around. Chris was a guy that, was over obsessive about his body and taking care of his body. So I take bits and pieces from, everybody I'm around and just try to implement it. But, I still do feel really good. I feel I'm reaching those prime type feeling years, body-wise. And then on to the next question about Oso and Ty. Yeah, I think that's that's not a normal situation to, get drafted to your hometown team or be in the market of your hometown team. So, they understand the importance of Phoenix Suns basketball, and, I'm gonna do my job to, be a leader and, give them any bits and pieces that I've picked up along the way.
Bob? Hey, Book. Bob here, Associated Press. First of all, going back to Al, one of the coolest pictures, and we talked about this, was with you and Al walking back. Do you remember, which one we talked about?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have that picture? Do you get a copy of that?
I can get a copy of it, but, social media makes it just save photo. And it's favorited also.
And what has to happen this year that didn't happen last year? What's the biggest difference this year for you guys to take the next step?
It's hard to narrow it down to one. I think we were trying to figure out and learn throughout, the whole season, including the postseason. So, just come in more prepared, come in more competitive. We just, we have to be on it. It's a tough league. It's a tough conference, and, we understand what we're going against, and, we feel like we have the talent. We feel like we have the coaching staff. We feel like we have, all the pieces to get to where we're trying to go.
Hey Devin, Luis Torres here with Nice Goods. After a full season with the book one, a lot of fun colorways, a little PE going on right now. What can we expect this upcoming season, and book two in the works? What's that looking like?
Yeah, book two is definitely in the works, but a lot of more book ones this year. And I'm just going to continue to try to tell my story, man. I think, I've kept it consistent with every colorway that drops is, either been Phoenix inspired or Arizona inspired or, some type of story from my past. And, a lot of the book ones, especially with the PEs, have been colorways that you've seen before from the past. And that's just me paying homage, understanding, sneakers were super important to me growing up and definitely still are now. So paying homage to those colorways, those silhouettes that, have shaped the game and changed the sneaker culture forever.
Last one in the book, Annie.
Devin, Annie Mars, Drysdale Suns broadcast.
There you go.
Can you talk a little bit about, the relationship, talk about Kevin, and congratulations on the Olympics too, but being that with Diana Taurasi and the relationship that you've had with her 20 years and what she has done and impacted you in the game.
Yeah, since day one, Diana has the energy and the spirit, like she's ready to play tomorrow. So, they say she's retiring. I don't know. I hope not. because that has definitely been a staple for me, you know, throughout my whole career here is, you know, just even the short conversations of passing in the locker rooms or passing in the weight rooms. And, you know, obviously, like I said, being a historian of the game, understanding that she's paved the way for this whole next generation that's coming up. And, you know, she set the bar so high that, you know, they probably won't be able to reach.